How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here. So the stock market had a ridiculously good day today. S&P 500 up $27, up 0.84%. The Dow Jones, on the other hand, didn't have too great of a day, up only $9, pretty much break even. But where the bulk of the green came from today was from tech stocks. Tech stocks, guys, on fire today. NASDAQ up $306, up almost 3%. Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Netflix, all exploding today. We'll talk about some of those in a little bit here. And in this video in general, we're going to be breaking down the stock market like we always do, breaking down some technicals, going over where we could be potentially headed here over the next couple of days in the stock market. And I also want to share with you guys 7 stocks that I'm looking to buy right now, as well as what I've been doing as of late in the stock market. And if you guys stick till the end of the video, I'm also going to be doing some bonus stocks, breaking down and sharing some bonus stocks that I also see a lot of potential in. So a lot to go over in this video. If you guys find value in it, hit that like button for me, consider subscribing, and check out all the free links down below in the description box if you want to join our Discord chat, Facebook group, and if you want 2 free stocks from Webull valued up to $1,400. All you have to do is deposit $100 into the account, and that is when you get your free money, 2 free stocks, again, valued up to $1,400. So let's just get right into it, guys. The markets just closed 8 minutes ago here. It's 4:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and again, it was a roller coaster ride in the market today. Not too volatile. I mean, we weren't choppy, but it was, let's just put it this way, it was a nice up-climbing roller coaster ride, and we haven't seen the drop quite yet. It's not like we're falling off a cliff like when we reached the peak of a roller coaster, but it's kind of just, we're climbing, right? The market's exploded. S&P 500 ended up going up again, 27 points, up 0.84%. We took out 2330, which was a big resistance we talked about in yesterday's video, and pretty much all of last week we talked about that. And that's been a big resistance ever since the middle of July. I mean, on the 13th of July, we double topped at about 3230. On the 15th, we pretty much got rejected there 3 or 4 separate times. On the 17th as well, which was Friday, we failed breaking out. We got rejected there and ended up closing on a downswing. So the fact that we took out 3230 and 3240, that general area today, that is very, very good for the bulls on the S&P 500. So with that bullish move, and it was also a resistance from back in the beginning of June. So quite honestly, and I've been saying this on the channel, guys, I mean, the markets, if you think about it, they've kind of been stagnant ever since the beginning of June. I mean, the S&P's trading, well, now it's popped out, which is good for the bulls, again, like I said. But, you know, if we're taking a look at general ranges here, the S&P's been trading, you know, right around where it was a month and a half ago. So in theory, well, not really in theory, in reality, the markets haven't gone anywhere in a month and a half, which is pretty interesting, at least here in the S&P 500. So for tomorrow, the rest of this week, we have big earnings coming up, obviously. If these companies do well, and especially in the week after this week, the S&P could go higher. So a higher target that I've been talking about pretty much every day here on these videos is around 3,300 to 3,330. And now it seems like we're on a one-stop train to that point, since again we broke that level of resistance today. So that means the S&P has around 2.3 to 2.5% upside from here. So watch that level heading into tomorrow, this upcoming week, guys. It's very important. And when it comes down to the Dow Jones, again, we didn't do much today, pretty much break even consolidation day. And it seems like we're holding 26.6. This has been a resistance for the past 3 trading days at this point, and you guys can see that on the 5-day 5-minute here. Take a look. The past, actually no, 1, 2, 3, 4 trading days, it seems like we've held, generally speaking here, 26.6. So it's going to be interesting to see which direction the Dow Jones ends up picking here? Do we end up running back up and testing 27K? And mind you guys, a lot of the Dow stocks, the Dow 30 stocks, have been underperforming these tech stocks because, and it's very clear, a lot of people are flying into tech rather than picking up companies such as, McDonald's, for example, J&J, which is why those companies, J&J, McDonald's, and a bunch of other ones, they've been kind of stagnant as well in recent history, right, over the past couple of weeks especially. So, the Dow at this point, it's going to be interesting, right? If we end up taking out 27,000, watch for the rally out of that resistance. Obviously, from there, we might be rallying back up to 27.6, which is where we got back in the beginning of June. So watch out for that on the upside. On the downside, if we break 26,600, we might be going down probably, guys, to 26,300 to 400, as we can see here, especially as I zoom in on this 4-hour chart. So going over to the NASDAQ now, very bullish, guys, very bullish. We almost got to all-time highs. We're about $117 off of all-time highs now. We might hit that tomorrow with the way things are looking, with how bullish tech is looking. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I'd love to know what you guys have to think down below in the comments. Let me know. Do you think we hit that level? But ultimately, at this point, we held the higher low on this 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart, like we've been talking about, right? We've been talking about this over the past couple of weeks, how every time the NASDAQ is pulled down, it's seen a correction. Well, not even a correction. Let's just say a little 3-4% pull down, because that's not really a correction. I believe the definition of a correction is at least a 10% pull down, the official definition, right? So 3% is not really a correction. But every time we've seen a little pull down here, we've held that 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart, and that's exactly what we did last week, leading into this week, and today we finally got the pop, which again means bulls are in charge. So for now, I'm just looking at the resistance, which again is right around 11,070, which is the all-time high, which with good earnings reports from Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, I don't see the NASDAQ having any issue getting to that level. And so just watch that. We could be getting all-time highs pretty soon here. And that's pretty much it for the overall market update. I mean, there's a lot going on right now, and you guys know it's earnings season. And let me just pop up very quickly this screenshot that I have here. I showed this yesterday. This is from Earnings Whispers, but to show you guys kind of all the companies, at least the main ones that are reporting this week. So we have IBM reporting today. We'll take a look at that in a couple of minutes very briefly to see what they ended up reporting. Tomorrow we have Coca-Cola, Snapchat, United. We have iRobot. On Wednesday, we have Tesla, Microsoft, Chipotle. This is a very big day. We have Whirlpool as well on Wednesday. And Thursday, we have Twitter, AT&T, Southwest, American Airlines. So airlines are reporting this week, as well as, did I say Intel? Well, if I didn't say Intel. And then on Friday, we have Verizon, American Express, Honeywell, and a bunch of other companies right there. So that's pretty much it when it comes to the earnings calendar, and again, the overall market update for today. And just speaking of earnings, let's just bang out IBM now that we're on it. Might as well. And take a look, guys. Oh my goodness. IBM is up, gapping up pretty aggressively here after hours, up to about $100 and almost $34 per share. Take a look. And yesterday we talked about roughly 124 to 126 being a big resistance, right, from the past couple of months. So the fact that we took that out today with earnings, and we also took out about a $1.30, $1.29, which is also a big resistance, that is very good for the bulls. So let's take a look at this live news tab to see exactly what they ended up reporting. And if you guys give me a second here, I'm scrolling. Okay, here we go. IBM, $2.18 of EPS. That beats $2.07 of EPS. And the sales came in at $18.12 billion versus $17.72 billion. So they beat there on EPS and revenue, and the shares are soaring. So whenever companies report earnings, it's kind of hard to dive in after hours because they're very volatile, right? So for me, I'm going to be looking at IBM to potentially cool off here to see what it does over the next couple of days. But like I said earlier, the fact that we took out 130 on the upside, that's very good. So I'd like to actually see it maybe cool off and find support around 130, 131, and that is where I might enter here on IBM. And let me know down below in the comments, what are your thoughts on IBM if you guys track the company, and if you're interested in trading it. I'd love to know what you guys have to think. Now, let's talk about what I did today, and I had a pretty active day in the markets today. So you guys know I've been in GDX calls for a while. I don't know how long. It's been about at least a month, definitely a month, probably 2 months at this point. And these are the $40 September 18th calls. And take a look today, guys. It cracked $40. So we cracked my strike price today on these call options. I didn't check exactly how much I was up to end off the day, but I believe I'm up on those options now about like 10%. So I was in the hole for a couple of weeks, but I stuck with them because time was on my side. Again, they expire in September, and I was bullish on GDX overall. And with patience, guys, yields great results most of the time. That's if you've done your research and if you're confident in what you're trading, which in this case I am. I've done my research. I'm confident in gold and GDX. So we're up. We're up on these, and I didn't sell out, but I figured to let you guys know these options are doing great. And again, they're the $40 September 18th. That's when they expire, 2020 call options. And this morning, I entered into Amazon. This was pre-market, guys. I picked up some Amazon at $3,004 per share. And this may be a bit ballsy. I mean, it is a bit ballsy, but ultimately I'm looking to swing trade these. I held them overnight. And at this point, $3,004 again is where I entered. Up to where we are right now, we're up about close to 6.5% on this position. So it's like, I could have locked profit. This is not a big risk, me holding overnight, I'd say, because Amazon, I believe they're going to keep going higher, quite honestly. That's just me being really honest with you guys. But you could be saying, Stash, you could have locked in your profit. But ultimately, at this point, guys, I'm okay if it does end up pulling down a bit because I do have that cushion built, and that's kind of the risk I'm willing to take. But again, it's not that much of a risk because I don't see Amazon crashing under 3,000 again. Quite honestly, I see it going higher. And with the strong earnings report, I'm not sure if I'm going to hold through earnings. It depends on how big of a cushion I've built on the position. But if they have a good earnings report, and I'm sure you guys can agree with this, I can see this thing taking out all-time highs, which is right around 33.50. So at this point, I'm holding Amazon. Maybe we pull down a 31.50, find support there, which could be nice. Maybe I add more to my position there. But ultimately, I'm bullish on the company, the stock at this point, despite it being up a ridiculous 8%, $230 on the day. And another stock I ended up opening up a position with today was Netflix. I bought this one, I believe, I bought this one earlier in the day as well, roughly the same time as Amazon at $490 per share. And I said yesterday, guys, Netflix dropped about $100 post earnings, more than $100, and I'm looking at it as a recovery play. And we've seen strong support ever since they reported earnings right around 470, and we've climbed up 480, 490, and we tested 490 this morning, 480, and again, that's where I bought, and we ended up popping from there. And it seems like, I did get in before the confirmation, quite honestly, but I felt confident in doing that because when I'm swing trading stocks, I get in with about 10-20% per position, let's say. Actually, let's just put it in easier terms. I go in 10-20%, and this way I have more cash on the sidelines waiting for a potential maybe a further dip in the stock, or if it continues to push up, I can add more money into it. And this way, it's kind of me managing my risk because I'm not too heavy in any particular trade. And I figured, okay, I might get in a bit before confirmation, and if it dumps a little bit and I cut losses, it's not that big of a deal because, again, I'm only in with about 10-20%. But you guys can see it ended up rallying for the rest of the day, and now I'm up about, let's see how much, almost 3% on that position. So I'm holding on to GDX calls, Netflix. I'm holding on to Amazon, guys. I'm pretty much just really, really bullish on tech at this point. We saw the massive pull down, and like I said last week, I'm seeing this as a dip buy opportunity, to be honest. And I also ended up buying into Virgin Galactic today, guys. Pretty small position here, more into my longer term swing position here, roughly at about $23.62. I bought a bit prematurely here. Then we dumped all the way down to 22, roughly 10, and I held through the pain, guys. I actually ended up buying more at $22.22. Taking a look at my notes right here, my average cost is right around $23.20. So I'm down a bit on this position here. But either way, I'm long Virgin Galactic, ticker symbol SPCE, and I see potential in it, over these next couple of weeks, especially if it takes out $25, guys. Watch above at that point. I mean, we could be going up to $30. The next big resistance, maybe not $30. The next big resistance is right around $27, but that still has a lot of potential. It gives the stock a lot of potential. And you guys know I was in McDonald's last week, still holding on to McDonald's here in at 191.05, up very small in that position, but I'm still holding on as a swing trade with a goal exit at around 198 to 200 bucks. So let me know down below in the comments, what did you guys do today in terms of trading? Now let's talk about these stocks that I believe are breaking out and that have a lot more potential from this point. Microsoft, guys, and I said yesterday, this is probably the stock that if I had to just gamble and say which stock is going to recover, tech stock that is going to recover out of the big ones the strongest, I'd probably say Microsoft and Amazon, right? But maybe leaning a little bit more towards Microsoft. Actually, probably more towards Amazon, but Microsoft's actually a really close second. But either way, they're both very decent opportunities. And again, for me at least, and again, you guys must do your own research. As always, I'm not a financial advisor, but we talked about how yesterday Amazon was at about Microsoft was at about 202. We rallied up 4.3% today, up $9. I missed the move today, guys, but it's no big deal because again, I'm in other tech plays, and I might even consider entering in the next dip of this stock. But again, no big deal because I pretty much made more money today when it comes down to Amazon as opposed to Microsoft. But either way, I see a lot more potential here with Microsoft on this massive $9 move today. And they're reporting earnings on the 22nd. So they're actually reporting earnings on Wednesday here. And they could very well take out 216, go to all-time highs, maybe go to $220 per share. So keep an eye here on Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT. Tesla today, guys, up 10%. And we talked about yesterday how this was kind of the calm before the storm when it comes down to Tesla stock. Take a look on this 10-day chart. You can see back in the beginning of July, the 6th of July to the 10th of July, we were cooling at about $1,400, cooling off at $1,400. That's before we saw the massive rally to $1,800. We took a hit from $1,800 down to about $1,400-ish again, and we've been cooling off there again from the 14th of July pretty much up until today. And with today's massive move from $1,500 up to about $1,650, this is solidifying that the bulls are back in charge. And why did Tesla stock rally up today? It could be a mixture of a lot of things. I mean, Tech stocks did very well today. NASDAQ did very well today. The markets in general, other than the Dow, did very well today, so that could have pushed a lot of money into Tesla as well. They're reporting earnings on the 22nd, just like Microsoft, so people could be speculating that they're going to do very well when it comes down to earnings. I mean, they crushed delivery estimates, roughly 90,000 deliveries versus 70,000 deliveries. We got that news just recently, and one could hypothesize that, they beat delivery numbers, so they're going to do well in earnings because they beat delivery numbers. And we'll see how they end up doing when it comes down to earnings versus estimates and so forth. But that's kind of what people are thinking now. Another reason is, Battery Day. This is probably not a reason, but Battery Day is coming up. That could be a reason in the future to keep an eye on Tesla popping up. I believe that's in 2 months from now, maybe a month or two from now, out in September. And the S&P 500, we're most likely going to see Tesla in the S&P 500. Is this spiking up the stock? Is it already priced into the stock? I mean, these are some reasons why we could be running up today. Let's see the live news tab to see if anything else is mentioned, but pretty much, yeah, we're seeing a pop here, and we're getting a lot of bulls into the stock at this point. So at this point, I can see it going up 1,700, 1,790, but we might see a pull down before we do end up going there. And I'd probably look for a potential entry point at that point in time. And we got Workhorse Group today. WKHS back to life, up 10%, up $1.40 at the close, solidifying 1430 as a support, guys. This is very, very, very good. Very good for the bulls here. The fact that, we held 1430. Again, we held that recently over the past couple of weeks, as you guys can see here. And not only that, let me extend this to the right very quickly. You can see we also took out 1630, which was a resistance stemming back from the beginning of July. We rallied up to about 1715, and now we're actually holding 1630 as a new support. So watch for the 1630, 1650 general area to hold as support. And the next level that I'm looking at for Workhorse Group to get to here is going to be around, let's say, $18. That's the next big resistance here. So from 1650 up to $18, that could be a very possible range for this stock. And why did they end up rallying today? I mean, they were down to 1330, guys. I believe we got 70 that financing. Take a look here. You guys can see they closed the $70 million financing from an institutional investor. That was actually, the stock was actually at $13 when that occurred, I believe, this morning. And we got some speculation from Lordstown Motors potentially forming into a SPAC company, which happened with, I believe, Tortoise Acquisition Group, and was it Hyliion, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So maybe that is why this is going up today, since Workhorse Group owns 10% of Lordstown Motors. I read that in an article. That could be completely wrong. I mean, again, it's speculation. It was not confirmed by anybody. But again, we're just speculating here and going over what could have popped the stock. That could be it. So watch out for Workhorse here. Again, up to about $18. That's where I think there's a lot of potential here. And we already went over this one, but SPCE, guys, Virgin Galactic, I'm liking this one above $24. I mean, $24.50. I can see it going up to $27.50. So keep an eye on this one. And the video game stocks today, I've been bullish on these for a while, guys. ATVI, Activision Blizzard, up 3.2% today, up $2.50. We solidified $79.80 as a support today. We rallied up, pretty much filled the entire gap up to about 82, which was that resistance from about the 10th of July. So for tomorrow, the rest of this week with Activision, watch 82. If this breaks, $85 should be where we're going. At least that's what I think, right? EA, Electronic Arts, another video game stock, up 2% today. Pretty much solidified 137 as a support. We got rejected by 142, which was a resistance back from the 10th of July, same as Activision. And you guys will notice, you'll notice how a lot of these video game stocks, they kind of look similar in terms of technicals. They move in synchrony a lot of the time, so you'll see them get rejected on the same day unless there's news coming out from either or particular stock involving the video games that either or company sells. For the most part, they're moving in synchrony. So watch out for the break above 142. If we pull out to the 3-year chart on EA, we see a upwards target of about $150, and I've been calling this out for the past couple of weeks, ever since the break at pretty much, quite honestly, I've been tracking this since the break above 112, and you guys know that if you've been following my channel for the past couple of months at this point. We've been following this, from 115, 112, 110, pretty much to where it is today. So watch those video game stocks. AMD, guys, finally showing some life today as well. 4% up, $2.40. I believe they're reporting earnings maybe in August. Let me double check that. I might be wrong on that. Let me double check that. On the 28th. They're reporting earnings on the 28th of this month, and with today's pop, we ended up breaking out of $56, $56.50. That was a big resistance stemming back from the middle of May up until, let's say, the beginning of June. So that's very good here for the bulls. I can see AMD at this point going up maybe to $59 per share. And NIO, guys, NIO, finally, well, not finally because it's been rallying, but it's back to life after a couple of days of downtrending. And why am I saying that? Because we ended up rallying like we talked about yesterday, and we took out the resistance that we talked about yesterday. Do you guys remember I was looking at these past couple of days, this pattern here, and I was saying yesterday, watch for the rally today on NIO. Watch for the rally from $10.80, $11 where it was on Friday. Watch for the rally back up to around $12.20 to retest the downtrend, the 50 SMA, and watch what it does from there. If we take out that level, we might be going higher, which is what ended up happening. But if we got rejected and we started dumping back into the mid-11s, low-11s, high 10s, that would have been a great opportunity to maybe short the stock. So at this point, guys, at least in the short term and after hours, we're up into the 13s, which is even better for the bulls. I'm looking at this one as a long play. This could go even higher, especially if we hold 13 tomorrow and ultimately take out 1340 to 50, which is a pretty big, I'd say, sell zone right now, since it is a pretty big resistance coming up. So if we especially take out 1340.50, watch for this thing to rally. So let's go through a bunch of bonus stocks very quickly, rapid fire. Adobe, ADBE, this is one that rallied a lot. There's not much potential, but there could be a move from where we are now, 455, up to about $470 per share, especially with how it ran today, up 5.3%. GDX, we already talked about this earlier when it comes to my call options, but watch the gold stocks, guys. These stocks are underrated. They're on fire. GDX, which is simply a gold miners ETF, it tracks a bunch of the big gold stocks. It's up from $32 just about a month ago, up to $40. It's gone up $8 per share, and that equates to about 20%. And is that outpacing the NASDAQ? Let me just double check that, guys. I might be wrong on that, but let me just double check. In the same time period, are the gold stocks outpacing the NASDAQ? Of course they are. I think they would be. Yeah, of course they are. Yeah, NASDAQ's up about 10% in the same time period. So the gold stocks are underrated, under the radar. Watch them. Gold's been holding $1,800. These are worth watching, and just keep an eye on the GDX. GDXJ is another one that I personally watch. So yeah, Upwork, UPWK, is another one worth watching here. We called that out on Instagram. And if you guys don't watch my stories on Instagram, you're missing out, because every day I post live stories of the call-outs and in the Discord chat as well, and on Twitter. So if you guys don't follow me on all of those platforms, Twitter at StaSurfS, Instagram at StaSurfS, make sure to go down below, follow me, go to your phone, Instagram, Twitter app, follow me there for those live updates. And we talked about how Upwork was holding a big, nice support at about $13.80, $14, strong base support there, and we took out $14.20, and we rallied up to $14.60, which was the next gap I was looking for. And at this point, guys, I'm watching for tomorrow $14.70, $14.80 to break, and from there, mid-15s to high 15s, I believe we're going there. And another one, last one here, is Shopify, up 9% today, guys, $80, another tech stock, crushing it. So watch this one tomorrow, rest of the week. Let's see if it holds $1,000. Let me know down below in the comments if you think it will. But ultimately, that is it for today's video. So overall, guys, yeah, if you enjoyed it, hit that like button for me. Consider subscribing to the channel, and check out all the free links down below in the description box. Again, do not forget, go into the Discord chat, follow me on Instagram at StaSurfS, on Twitter at StaSurfS, and claim your free stocks from Webull. You get 2 of them, valued up to $1,400 if you use that link down below in the description box, which is my affiliate link. I also get 2 free stocks, and all you have to do is actually deposit $100 into that account, again, using my link, and you'll get your 2 free stocks within a couple of business days. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, stay safe out there, guys. Peace out.